I never planned to step outside Winterstone Keep that morning. 7 months I'd been here. 7 months of shelving scrolls, fetching documents, keeping my head down, and my scent buried so deep that even I forgot what it felt like to breathe freely. I was a low-ranked Omega from a fractured bloodline, the kind of wolf the Keep hired because we were cheap, quiet, and completely forgettable. Being invisible was my survival. Winterstone wasn't just any fortress. It was the seat of the Alpha King. Cayden Blackthorn ruled from these cold marble halls, and his presence alone could make seasoned warriors drop their gaze. I'd seen him exactly 4 times in 7 months. Each time I'd pressed myself against the wall, held my breath, and prayed he wouldn't notice me. He never did. Until today. I woke up feeling strange. There was warmth blooming under my skin, a flutter of heat that shouldn't have been there. My suppressants were supposed to keep everything locked down tight. I'd taken them religiously every morning for years, but something felt different. Something felt alive. I told myself it was nothing. Just stress. Just the changing seasons. Just my imagination. I got dressed in white because the color made me feel calm. White was cool and soft against my skin. It reminded me of fresh snow, of quiet mornings, of peace. I pulled on the simple white dress without thinking twice. I didn't know white was a signal. I didn't know it amplified scent. I didn't know every alpha in the Keep would be able to sense me the moment I stepped into the hallway. The corridor was empty when I walked toward the main doors. I just needed air. Just one moment outside these suffocating walls. My fingers were reaching for the door handle when I felt it, that first crack in my suppressants, like ice breaking beneath my feet. My scent rose without permission, warm, sweet, embarrassingly tender. I froze. Footsteps echoed behind me, heavy, controlled, purposeful. My heart slammed against my ribs. Lena. His voice cut through air like a blade, but this time it scraped against something deeper, something raw. I turned slowly. Cayden Blackthorn stood at the end of the hallway, 6'4" of controlled power wrapped in dark clothing, his silver eyes fixed on me with an intensity that made my knees weak. Then his gaze dropped to my dress. His breath faltered. The air between us shifted, thickened, charged with something I didn't understand. Where the hell are you going dressed like that? His voice wasn't calm anymore. It was rough, strained, like he was holding something back with both hands and losing his grip. I opened my mouth to answer, but no sound came out. My scent was rising stronger now, blooming around me like I'd been dipped in honey and set in the sun. Heat flushed across my skin. My pulse hammered in my throat. Cayden took a step toward me, then another. His scent hit me, cold pine, winter storms, something ancient and dangerous that made every instinct scream, both run and stay. I just wanted some air, I whispered. His jaw clenched white. You didn't know. Know what? That white amplifies scent. His eyes flashed silver. You didn't know that every alpha in this Keep can sense you right now? Shame burned through me. My suppressants are failing. He was closer now, close enough that I could see the tension in his shoulders, the way his hands were curled into fists at his sides. How long? I don't know. Today. Just today. A low sound rumbled from his chest. Not quite a growl, but close. My body responded without permission, warmth pooling low in my stomach, my breath catching. This wasn't normal. This wasn't how alphas reacted to omegas. Cayden's hand shot out and closed around my wrist. His touch burned. The moment his skin met mine, my scent exploded outward, filling the hallway with something so sweet and overwhelming that I heard doors slam shut in the distance. His pupils dilated. Come with me, he said, voice barely controlled. Now. He pulled me down the corridor, away from the main keep, toward the sealed wing where only the royal family was allowed. My feet stumbled to keep up. His grip on my wrist was firm but careful, like he was holding something precious and breakable. We reached a door carved with frost patterns. He pushed it open and pulled me inside, slamming it shut behind us. The room was dim, cold, private. Caden released my wrist and stepped back, putting distance between us. His chest rose and fell with harsh breaths. His eyes were still silver, still burning. "What's happening?" My voice shook. "A partial bond." The words came out tight, controlled. "Your scent triggered something in me, something that shouldn't have been triggered." "I don't understand." "Neither do I." He dragged a hand through his dark hair. "This doesn't happen. Not like this. Not without a claiming bite. Not without consent." Tears pricked my eyes. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean—" "Don't apologize." His voice softened, and somehow that was worse. "This isn't your fault." But it felt like my fault. Everything always felt like my fault. The heat under my skin was getting worse. My scent was still rising, still calling to him, and I could see what it was doing to him. The way his muscles tensed, the way his hands trembled before he clenched them into fists. "I should go," I whispered. "You can't." He turned away, bracing his hands against the wall. "The moment you step outside this room, every unmated alpha in the keep will sense you. They'll lose control. People will get hurt. Then what do I do? Stay here. Stay close to me. My scent will mask yours enough to keep you safe." I pressed my back against the door, trying to make myself small, trying to disappear the way I always had. But I couldn't disappear anymore. Caden turned to look at me, and the expression on his face made my breath stop. It wasn't anger. It wasn't disgust. It was hunger, raw, desperate hunger mixed with something that looked like pain. "I need you to understand something," he said quietly. "What's happening between us right now is dangerous. The Blackthorn bloodline has a curse. Every Alpha King who bonds with the wrong Omega loses control completely. They become feral. They destroy everything." "Then I'll leave," I said quickly. "I'll leave the keep. I'll go far away." "It's too late." His voice cracked. "The bond is already forming. Distance will only make it worse." "How is that possible? We barely know each other." "I don't know." He stepped closer. "But I've been watching you for 7 months, Lena. Every time you walked past my study, every time you shelved books in the library, every time you thought you were invisible, I noticed." My heart stopped. "You noticed me?" "I couldn't stop noticing you." His hand lifted, trembling, before he forced it back down, and I told myself it was nothing, that it would pass, that I just needed to stay away from you. "Maybe you still should." "I can't." The words came out broken. "Not anymore." Before I could respond, footsteps echoed outside the door. Sharp. Urgent. Someone knocked. "Your Majesty." A woman's voice. Counselor Voss, the King's chief advisor. "We need to speak with you immediately." Caden's expression hardened. "Not now." "It's about the Omega." Silence stretched like a blade. Caden moved to the door but didn't open it. "Lena is under my protection. The Council has concerns. The Council can wait." "With respect, Your Majesty, they cannot. The entire keep is reacting to her scent. Guards are requesting reassignment. Staff members are calling in sick. This cannot continue." Shame burned through me. I was causing chaos just by existing. Caden's jaw clenched. "Give me 1 hour." "Your Majesty." 1 hour, Voss." The footsteps retreated. Caden turned back to me, and I could see the conflict written across his face, the war between his instincts and his duty, between what he wanted and what he believed was right. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "Stop apologizing." He crossed the room and cupped my face in his hands. His touch was gentle, reverent. "Your life isn't worthless. It never was." His scent wrapped around me, pine and winter storms and safety. "I need to figure this out," he said quietly. "But right now, I need you to stay here. Stay safe. Can you do that?" I nodded, not trusting my voice. His thumb brushed across my cheek. Just once, just barely. Then he stepped back, released me, and walked out. The door clicked shut behind him. I slid down to the floor, wrapped my arms around my knees, and tried to understand what had just happened. A partial bond with the Alpha King. A bond that could destroy him. A bond that had formed the moment he saw me in white. I stayed in that sealed room for 4 hours. The silence was suffocating. I could hear my own heartbeat, my own breathing, my own thoughts spiraling darker. Every few minutes, footsteps would pass by the door. Voices would murmur in the distance, but no one came inside. No one except Caden. He returned as the sun began to set, carrying a tray of food I couldn't eat, and wearing an expression that made my stomach twist. "The council wants to relocate you," he said without preamble. I stood up slowly. "Where?" "A facility on the northern border. They call it a sanctuary for unstable Omegas." His voice dripped with disgust. "It's a prison. Maybe that's where I belong." His eyes flashed silver. "Don't say that." "I'm causing problems. I'm making everyone uncomfortable. You're mine." The words came out fierce, possessive. Then he seemed to realize what he'd said and stepped back. "I didn't mean it like that." "How did you mean it?" "I don't know." He looked exhausted, torn apart. "I just know that the thought of them taking you away makes me want to burn the council chambers to the ground." My breath caught. He crossed to the window and stared out at the darkening sky. "The bond is getting stronger. I can feel you even when you're not in the room. I can sense your fear, your confusion, your heartbeat. That's not possible. Neither is a partial bond forming without a bite. But here we are." I wrapped my arms around myself. What happens now? I told the council I need time, that I need to understand what's happening before we make any decisions. He turned to face me. "I bought us 3 days. And then? I don't know." The honesty in his voice hurt more than a lie would have. He moved closer, and I could see the exhaustion written in every line of his face. "I should refuse the bond," I said quietly. "I should tell them to take me away. Do you want that?" "It doesn't matter what I want. It matters to me." I met his eyes. Silver stared back at me, burning with something I didn't have a name for. "I want you safe," I whispered. "Even if that means I have to leave." Something in his expression cracked. He closed the distance between us and pulled me against his chest. Not roughly, not desperately. Just held me like I was the only solid thing in a world that was falling apart. His scent wrapped around me. His heartbeat thundered against my ear. "You smell like home," he murmured into my hair, "like everything I've been missing my entire life." Tears burned behind my eyes. "I know this is wrong," he said. "I know this is dangerous. I know I should let you go." "Then why don't you?" "Because I'm selfish." His voice broke. "Because I've spent my entire life doing what's right for the kingdom. And for the first time, I want something just for me." My hands fisted in his shirt. We stood there in the dim room, wrapped in each other's scent, breathing each other's air. And I knew with absolute certainty that this would end in disaster. But I couldn't bring myself to pull away. That night I didn't return to my small room in the servants' quarters. Caden insisted I stay in the sealed wing, where his scent could keep masking mine. He gave me chambers that had belonged to his late mother. Soft fabrics, warm lighting, a space that felt like a dream compared to the cold stone cell I'd been sleeping in. But sleep wouldn't come. I lay in the unfamiliar bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling the bond pulse between us like a second heartbeat. Around midnight, I heard my door open. Caden stood in the doorway, backlit by the hallway. He was still fully dressed, but his shirt was unbuttoned at the collar, his hair disheveled. "I couldn't stay away," he said roughly. "You should." "I know." But he didn't leave. He crossed the room slowly and sat on the edge of the bed, careful to keep distance between us. "Tell me about your family," he said quietly. The request caught me off guard. "Why?" "Because I want to know you. Not just your scent. Not just this bond. You." Something in my chest loosened. "The Ashwood line used to be powerful," I said softly. We were advisors to the crown 3 generations ago. But my grandfather made poor investments, lost everything. My father tried to rebuild, but he died before he could. My mother remarried into another struggling family. I have 2 half-siblings I haven't seen in years. And you came here to work. I came here to survive. I pulled my knees to my chest. Being invisible was easier than being pitied. His jaw clenched. You were never invisible to me. You said you watched me for months. He turned to look at me, and the raw honesty in his eyes made my breath catch. I told myself it was nothing, that I was just curious about the new staff member, that it would pass. His voice dropped. But it didn't. It got worse. Every time you walked past my study, I found excuses to look up. Every time you shelved books in the library, I positioned myself where I could see you. I learned your schedule, your habits, the way you tuck your hair behind your ear when you're concentrating. Heat flushed across my skin. That sounds like obsession. He laughed without humor. Because it was. I've been obsessed with you for 7 months, Lena, and I didn't understand why until today. The bond. No. He shook his head. The bond formed today. But whatever this is, it started long before that. My heart was racing. What are you saying? I'm saying I think we were always meant to find each other. He reached out slowly, giving me time to pull away, and tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. I'm saying the universe has a cruel sense of humor. Because you're perfect. His thumb brushed across my cheek. And I'm the one person who can't have you. The words hung between us, heavy with truth and impossibility. I should have pulled away. Should have told him to leave. Should have protected us both. Instead, I leaned into his touch. His breath caught. Lena, I know this is wrong, I whispered. I know this will end badly. But right now, I don't care. Something fierce flashed in his eyes. His hand slid into my hair, cradling the back of my head. He leaned closer, his scent wrapping around me, his breath warm, against my lips. If I kiss you, he said roughly, the bond will deepen. There will be no going back. Maybe I don't want to go back. His control snapped. He kissed me like a man drowning, like I was air and water and salvation all at once. His mouth was hot and demanding and gentle all at the same time. His hand tightened in my hair while his other arm wrapped around my waist, pulling me closer. I melted into him. My hands fisted in his shirt, kneading him closer. Heat flooded through my body. My scent bloomed uncontrollably, mixing with his until the entire room smelled like us. Like home, like destiny, like disaster. The bond snapped into place with a force that made us both gasp. I felt it settle into my chest, wrapping around my heart. I could feel Caden's emotions now, his desire, his fear, his absolute certainty that this was right, even though it was wrong. He pulled back just enough to press his forehead against mine, both of us breathing hard. I'm never letting you go, he whispered. The council can burn. Before either of us could say anything else, alarms blared through the keep. Caden's head snapped up. Stay here. What's happening? I don't know. He stood quickly, his expression shifting from soft to deadly. But I'll find out. He kissed me once more, quick and fierce, then disappeared through the door. I sat alone in the dark, the bond thrumming between us, and felt the first tendrils of real fear curl around my heart. By morning I understood. The council had called an emergency session. Caden was summoned before dawn and didn't return. Hours passed. The sun rose higher. Around noon, Counselor Voss entered my chambers, tall, elegant, with ice-blue eyes. She looked at me like I was something dirty. Miss Ashwood, where's Caden? His Majesty is occupied. Her voice was cold. I'm here to discuss your immediate relocation. He said I had 3 days. That was before you deepened the bond. Her eyes narrowed. Did you think we wouldn't notice? The entire keep can sense it. My hands shook. I didn't mean... Intent doesn't matter. Result does. She stepped closer. The council has made a decision. You will be relocated tonight. Transportation has been arranged. Caden would never agree to that. His Majesty doesn't have a choice. She pulled out a document, official, sealed with the royal crest. This order supersedes his authority. It's been signed by all 7 council members. I stared at the words, feeling my world crumble. You can't do this. We're doing it to save him. Voss's expression didn't soften. The Blackthorn curse has destroyed every Alpha King who bonded with an unsuitable Omega. Caden's great-grandfather went feral and had to be executed. The pattern is clear. I'm not unsuitable. You're low-ranked, unstable. Your suppressants failed because your bloodline is weak. She said it like fact, not insult. The moment that bond completes, Caden will begin to deteriorate. Within months, he'll be unrecognizable. Within a year, he'll be dangerous. Tears burned behind my eyes. There has to be another way. There isn't. She turned toward the door. Pack your things. We leave at sunset. She left. I stood alone in that beautiful room, the bond aching in my chest, and made a decision. I would run. Not to the northern facility. Not to some prison where they could study me. I would run far away, beyond the borders, beyond anywhere they could find me. If distance could weaken the bond, if separation could save Caden from the curse, then I would give him that gift. Even if it destroyed me in the process. I waited until the keep grew quiet, changed into dark, practical clothing, packed a small bag, and slipped out like the shadow I'd always been. The corridors were empty. I moved quickly, keeping to the servants' passages. I could feel Caden through the bond, angry, frustrated, trapped in meetings. He didn't know what I was about to do. I reached the eastern gate just as the sun began to set. My hands shook as I picked the lock. The gate swung open silently. Freedom lay beyond it. I hesitated because leaving meant never seeing Caden again, never feeling his arms around me, never hearing him say my name. But staying meant watching him deteriorate, watching the curse take him. The choice wasn't really a choice at all. I stepped through the gate, and the bond screamed. Pain lanced through my chest so sharp I stumbled. Behind me, somewhere in the keep, I heard Caden roar. The sound was raw, primal, broken. He knew. I ran through the gardens, into the forest, tears streaming down my face. The bond stretched and stretched, growing more painful with every step. I could feel Caden's panic, his rage, his desperation. I ran harder. The forest grew darker. I didn't know where I was going, only that I needed distance. But I wasn't alone. I smelled them before I saw them. Rogue alphas, 3 of them, emerging from shadows. My unstable scent had drawn them. Well, well, one drawled. What do we have here? I backed away. Stay away from me. An Omega in distress. Another stepped closer. Unbonded, unprotected. I'm bonded. Your scent says otherwise. They circled me. The bond pulsed. Caden was coming. He was fighting free. He was too far away. The first alpha lunged. I dodged, barely. His hand caught my arm, yanking me back. I screamed, then a roar split the night. A massive wolf burst through the trees, silver fur, eyes like moonlight. It hit the alpha, holding me with enough force to shatter bones. The others scattered. The wolf shifted. A woman stood there, tall, fierce, with Caden's eyes. You must be Lena, she said calmly. I collapsed. She caught me. My brother is going to burn the kingdom looking for you. Come on. I woke in a small cabin that smelled like herbs. The woman, Lyra, Caden's sister, sat by the window. Where? 50 miles from Winterstone. Deep enough in neutral territory that the council won't find you. Immediately. I tried to sit up. Why did you help me? Because my brother loves you. She said it simply. And because the curse is a lie. I stared at her. The Blackthorn bloodline bonds deeply, Lyra explained. When we find our true mate, the connection is overwhelming. But the council has spent generations poisoning kings who chose Omegas they didn't approve of. They call it a curse. It's murder. Horror crawled up my spine. That's impossible. I have proof. She pulled out a worn journal. Our grandfather kept records, names, dates, symptoms that don't match the official reports. Evidence of systematic elimination. She opened it, showed me pages of careful documentation. The council wants you gone, Lyra said quietly. Not because you'll hurt Caden. Because you're the first person he's chosen for himself in generations. You're a threat to their power. I need to tell him. You can't. If you go back now, they'll kill you both. She gripped my shoulders. We need time. We need to build a case they can't deny. How long? Weeks. Maybe a month. I can't stay away from him that long. I know. Her expression softened. But it's the only way to keep you both alive. Before I could respond, pain lanced through my stomach. Sharp, sudden, devastating. I doubled over, gasping. Lyra caught me. What's wrong? I don't... Another wave hit. Your scent, she breathed. It's changing. She carried me to a traveling clinic. An older healer examined me, then went very still. What is it? Lyra demanded. The healer looked at me with awe and fear. You're pregnant. The world stopped. The bond accelerated your cycle, the healer explained. And the child. She paused. The child is powerful. An apex alpha heir with abilities that shouldn't manifest until birth. But I'm reading energy signatures already. I pressed my hand to my stomach. Caden's child. Our child. The council can never know, Lyra said urgently. If they discover you're pregnant with Caden's heir, they'll kill you both. The healer nodded grimly. And they'll kill the child. 3 weeks passed in that hidden clinic. 3 weeks of feeling Caden through the bond, his anguish, his rage, his slow spiral into something dark. Lyra visited when she could, brought news. Caden wasn't sleeping, wasn't eating, spent every moment searching. He's in separation rut, she told me. It's killing him. I pressed my hand to my stomach. The baby was growing, faster than normal. Already I could feel its power pulsing. I need to go back, I said. Not yet. He doesn't have time. I stood. And neither do I. The bond isn't weakening. It's getting stronger. The baby is strengthening it. Every day I stay away, it gets worse for both of us. Something shifted in Lyra's expression. You love him. More than anything, I whispered. She smiled. Good, because he'll need that love for what's coming. We returned to Winterstone under darkness. Lyra led me through secret passages to Caden's, private chambers. He's locked in there, she whispered. The council sedated him, but the drugs aren't working anymore. She opened the door. The room was dark. I could smell blood and sweat and something wild. Caden was chained to the wall. My heart shattered. He was barely recognizable, hair wild, eyes silver fire, body trembling with barely restrained power. He looked up as I entered, went very still. Lena. My name came out broken, desperate. I crossed the room, dropped to my knees. I'm here. His chains rattled. You left. I know. I couldn't breathe without you. Tears streamed down my face. I'm sorry. I was trying to save you. I don't want to be saved. His voice cracked. I want you. The bond snapped tighter. Find the key, he said roughly. Free me, please. I found it, unlocked his chains. The moment he was free, Caden pulled me into his arms, held me so tight I couldn't breathe. Never again, he whispered against my skin. Never leave me again. I won't. Promise me. I promise. He pulled back to look at me, and saw. His hand went to my stomach. He went absolutely still. You're pregnant. I covered his hand with mine. With your child. The expression on his face was indescribable. Awe, fear, joy, love, so fierce it burned. How long? 3 weeks. His jaw clenched. You knew and didn't tell me. I was protecting you. I don't need protection. I need you. He cupped my face. Both of you. The baby pulsed, Caden's eyes widened. I felt that. The healers say the child is powerful. More powerful than should be possible. Because it's ours. He pressed his forehead to mine. The first true Blackthorn heir in generations. Before I could respond, the door burst open. Counselor Voss stood there. We have to go. Now. The council knows you're back. Caden stood, pulling me with him. Let them come. Caden. I'm done running. Done hiding. Done letting them control my life. His eyes flashed. It's time they learned what happens when you threaten a Blackthorn's mate. Footsteps echoed. The baby pulsed, so strong the air rippled. Caden's hand pressed to my stomach. Easy, little one. Save your strength. The doors slammed open. 7 council members entered. Voss led them. Your Majesty, step away from the Omega. Caden laughed darkly. No, that is not a request. And this is not a negotiation. He moved in front of me. Lena stays with me. She's destabilizing you. What I sense is treason. His voice dropped dangerously. What I sense is generations of lies. Lyra stepped forward with documents. Because I have proof you've been poisoning kings. The temperature dropped. 3 generations of mysterious deaths, Lyra continued. All occurring after they bonded with Omegas you didn't approve of. Caden picked up a document. My great-grandfather. Dead 6 months after bonding. Symptoms: paranoia, aggression. Official cause: curse manifestation. Then explain the arsenic in his food, Lyra said. Explain. The poison in his chambers. Silence. You were controlling the throne, Caden said quietly, ensuring only your chosen candidates bonded with kings. When a king chose for himself, he stepped closer. You eliminated the threat. We were protecting. You were murdering. The baby pulsed. Everyone felt it, a wave of pressure so strong 2 council members stumbled. Voss's eyes went wide. What was that? Caden's hand moved to my stomach. My heir, reminding you that some things are beyond your control. She's pregnant, Voss breathed. I bonded with my mate, my choice. Your death sentence, that child will amplify. There is no curse, Lyra said sharply. Only your crimes. Guards, Voss called. Caesar! The door burst open. Armored wolves poured in. Caden roared, deep, deadly, a sound that made bones rattle. The guards stopped. Anyone who touches her dies, Caden said quietly. That's not a threat. That's a promise. They hesitated. They answer to the council now, Voss said. Not you. Is that treason? Caden asked softly. Before anyone could move, the baby screamed. Not audibly, but every wolf felt it. A pulse of pure power that drove guards to their knees, that cracked windows, that sent pressure waves rippling through the room. I gasped, hand on my stomach. The baby, I breathed. It's protecting us. Impossible, someone whispered. Because it's a true Blackthorn heir, Lyra said with awe. The first in generations. The baby pulsed again. The air grew heavy with scent. Caden's pine, my warmth, and something new. The scent of an apex alpha not yet born, already dominant. Guards backed away. This is unnatural, a council member said. This is destiny, Caden corrected. This is what happens when a king bonds with his true mate instead of your puppet. He turned to the guards. Arrest the council. Charges, treason, attempted murder, conspiracy. No one moved. That's an order. Still nothing. Then a younger council member stepped forward. I'll testify. I have records too. Voss turned on him. Coward. Survivor, he corrected. I'm done watching you destroy people for power. Something shifted. Guards surrounded the council instead of us. You can't do this, Voss hissed. The kingdom will heal, Caden said, without you poisoning it. They dragged the council out. The baby pulsed, so hard the floor trembled. I doubled over. Caden caught me. Lena! A healer rushed forward. The child is trying to stabilize the bond. It senses danger, but it's too young, too powerful. It's burning through energy. What do we do? Complete the bond, fully. Give the child the stability it needs. Caden looked at me. I nodded. He lifted me gently, carried me to his private chambers. Are you sure? He whispered. I've never been more sure. He kissed me then, deep, claiming, gentle. His lips moved to my neck, found the spot where shoulder met throat. His teeth grazed my skin. The baby pulsed with approval. Caden bit down. The bond completed with a force that shook the keep. I felt it slam into place, not gradually, but like a tidal wave. Caden's emotions flooded me, his love, his protectiveness, his certainty. The baby settled immediately, stopped pulsing frantically, began growing with calm, steady power. Caden pulled back, licking the wound closed. How do you feel? Complete. I touched the mark. Like everything finally makes sense. He gathered me close. I'm never letting you go. Good. Hours later, we emerged onto a balcony overlooking the courtyard. Thousands of wolves had gathered. Caden's hand tightened on mine. Together. Always. He stepped forward. My people, for generations you've been told lies. You've been told the Blackthorn curse would destroy any king who chose his own mate. He paused. Tonight I tell you the truth. The curse is fabrication. A tool used by corrupt council members to control the throne. Silence. The real danger was never love. It was murder. Systematic elimination of anyone who threatened the council's power. He held up documents. I have proof. I have witnesses. And tonight that ends. He pulled me forward. This is Lena Ashwood, my bonded mate, my chosen queen, the mother of my heir. Gasps echoed. She is low-ranked. She is everything the council told you I should never choose. His arm wrapped around me. And she is perfect. She is brave. She saved my life by coming back. The baby pulsed gently, a wave of scent rolling across the courtyard. Mine, Caden's, and something new, something powerful. The scent of an apex alpha heir. Wolves dropped to their knees, not from submission, from recognition. This is my declaration, Caden said quietly. Lena is queen. Our child is heir. Anyone who challenges this challenges me. Silence. Then one wolf stepped forward. Long live the king! Long live the queen! Another voice joined. Then dozens. Hundreds. Long live the king! Long live the queen! Not everyone joined, but enough stayed. Enough believed. Caden pulled me against his chest, kissed my temple. You did it, he whispered. You survived. We survived, I corrected. The baby pulsed with agreement. We stood there as the crowd dispersed, as the keep slowly returned to normal. Later, in our chambers, Caden held me close. There will still be challenges, he said. People who won't accept this. I know. And you're still not afraid? I'm terrified, I admitted. But I'm not leaving. Promise? I promise. He kissed me, deep, full of promises we'd spend our lives keeping. The baby pulsed. And I understood something fundamental. This was always meant to happen. The moment I stepped into that hallway wearing white, the moment Caden saw me and his control shattered, the moment our scents collided, we were always meant to find each other. Always meant to fight for this. Always meant to choose love over fear. Where the hell are you going, dressed like that? And the answer was simple. Toward him. Toward us. Toward a destiny that began with white fabric and ended with a kingdom transformed. 3 months later, our daughter was born early, as Apex Alphas always are. She had Caden's silver eyes and my dark hair and a power that made healers whisper in awe. And when I looked at her, at Caden, at the life we'd built from ashes and lies, and a bond that refused to break, I knew we'd made the right choice. Every single time.